Hello my friends, Mikkel Renna here. I am so excited. I just spent the past week picking up a bunch of gorgeous flowers and greenery for me to create 3 little floral arrangements for my home and also a grapevine wreath. Now let me bring you in a little closer so I can show you what I've got. So I picked up these stems back here, and they're fairly long. I don't want to pull them out because I think they'll pull out some of the other pieces, but you'll see this in the rest of the video. I picked these up from the dollar store, Dollarama, and they were $1.75 here in Canada. I also picked up these gorgeous Real Touch stems as well from a flower shop, flower wholesaler called Stellar Stems in Mississauga. And from Stellar Stems I also picked up these gorgeous Real Touch roses. Oh my gosh, I just almost melted when I saw these, like just almost died. Like, take me home right now. I also grabbed these from Stellar Stems. Now these are not Real Touch, but they do look real. The color is absolutely gorgeous. They're not quite the color I was looking for. I grabbed those on a day that I didn't have all of my sort of color ideas kind of worked out, but I love them so much that I grabbed them. They do have them in a lighter color, so they're kind of have them in like an ivory with a paler pink, I should say. So I might go back and get those, but I'm not sure. I'm still loving the way that it looks anyway. This is not the arrangement, by the way. This is just a giant plant pot that I have, and I stuck all of my stems that I'll be working with into the pot. So next, from Stellar Stems, I grabbed these eucalyptus picks, and they're quite long. Again, I'll show you in the video when I start working with them how long they are, but they also have like the little flower buds at the top too, and the color is just gorgeous as well. So they look really realistic too. And that was it from Stellar Stems. But down here, I got these Real Touch hydrangeas from a store called Elegant Garden, and they're just down the street from Stellar Stems. They sell a whole variety of things like artificial fiddly figs, olive trees. They sell a lot of bigger plants. So Stellar Stems, they have a lot of greenery, flowers, and they do a lot of arrangements for weddings and special occasions. So if you want them to make something for you, they will do that. The owners are wonderful people. They're so lovely. I chat with them all the time. I just went in last week. I think I went in like 3 times and managed to like chat with them each time, and they're just lovely. So I highly recommend that store, and they'll help you with anything that you're looking for. Now this single Real Touch rose is from Michael's, and I was using this on my front door with something else, so I also have some Michael's picks attached to it. That's okay, I'm gonna take those picks off, and this is gonna be the focal point of my grapevine wreath, which I'll show you in a second. And now over here I have a bouquet of these little flowers, and they're actually from the Dollar Tree. I was actually quite surprised by these. They're really cute. They kind of look realistic. I don't typically like dollar store flowers, but I really loved these. And these are also from the Dollar Tree as well. They're just beautiful. The color is lovely. The black in the center just pops. And I only paid $1.50 for a bouquet of these, and the white ones as well. And look at these. They're so pretty, and the petals, like, they look really realistic. They don't feel that way because they're fake flowers, obviously, and that's kind of what used to deter me from these. But honestly, there's something about them. I typically don't like silk flowers, or I guess these are probably like kind of like plasticky, but they don't feel that way, and they definitely don't look that way. So I highly recommend, if you get a chance to go in the Dollar Tree, to look for these and these other little guys. And if you're in the Mississauga area, I really do recommend that you visit Stellar Stems and Elegant Garden. They have beautiful pieces for your home. Elegant Garden, they don't really have a lot in the way of flowers. As I mentioned, it's mostly bigger pieces. Like if you're looking for example, a faux banana leaf tree, they've got those. They've got big pieces, and the owner was telling me that they actually provide a lot of things to like the movie sets and people who do staging. So they really do have some awesome stuff. So what I'll be doing with these flowers, as I mentioned, is making 3 arrangements for my home. So I actually picked up 3 of these little galvanized buckets from the Dollar Tree, and also some foam blocks. Now these are not the ones that you moisten. These are like the really stiff, like hard, like styrofoam. That was what was recommended for artificial flowers. So I got 3 of those little buckets. And then as far as my wreath goes, I paid $12 and change for this grapevine wreath from Michael's. So I used a 40% off coupon, so that's how it ended up being $12 and 40 something cents. I think the regular price was $17.99 if I'm not mistaken. It's supposed to be a 24-inch wreath, but it was slightly smaller than the other 24-inch wreaths, and that's okay. I didn't mind because this one, I love the shape of it. I love the weave of the vines. So yeah, I loved it. So I took it, sold. So this year as well, I thought I'd show you, I'm planning on changing up my Thanksgiving color scheme as well. Let me just move this wreath. So I'll probably be incorporating like a lot of pastels and pinks. I usually decorate with like browns and the traditional Thanksgiving colors, oranges, you know, traditional fall colors. And in the past, I've incorporated this color, which is kind of like a light turquoise, because I have a lot of this color in my decor. So Dollar Tree came out with these this year, at least in Canada. This is the first time I'm seeing these in my province and in my local Dollar Tree. But I'm probably going to leave the flower and remove the leaves. I might add like something like a little rose. That rose is too big, but I mean something smaller just to incorporate some pink. And then I also found these like wool pumpkins from the Dollar Tree, or fleece or felt kind of. So I'm probably going to touch up the stems with a brighter gold, because right now it's kind of like, it's gold, but it's kind of dull. And so same thing, I'll probably be adding some roses. Let's see. Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. Like to the top, maybe like a little eucalyptus, something like that. But I'll keep you posted. I'll do a Halloween video and show you what I'll be doing with my, not Halloween, sorry, my fall decor. I'll be incorporating a lot of these colors here this year, and that will also coordinate with my grapevine wreath as well. Well, friends, let's get moving. I'm gonna get started on my 3 floral arrangements, and I hope you enjoy the video. Hey my friends, okay, so I was about to start working on the floral arrangements, and I was humming and hawing because I felt like there was a little bit something missing. So I did head back out to pick up a few things. I went back to Stellar Stems and Packaging, and these are what I grabbed. These roses right here. How gorgeous are they? So these, I don't know if you can see it on camera with the lighting right now. I know if I turn my light on, they'll look more yellow, but they're actually an off-white color with some pink accents. And I thought they picked up these pink roses really nicely. So originally, if you recall, I had picked up these roses. They have a little bit of a lavender hue to them, just slightly. So I thought those were nice, but I still wanted something with a little bit more creaminess to match these. And then I popped by the Dollar Tree. I was looking for some sort of berries, and I found these. Now, they're glittery. If I hold them up close, hopefully you can see. And I don't know if I'm gonna use these like with the glitter, and definitely not with these like disco style leaves. Those are gonna go. But I was thinking I might actually be able to paint the berries. But what I'll do is make the arrangements first, like assemble them, and then see if they look nice with the green glitter, or if I should paint them like, I was thinking kind of like a biscuit color, so almost like a cream or ivory, or even like a peachy pink, kind of like berries that you would typically see in arrangements with pink roses. And I grabbed two bunches of those, and they were $1.50 Canadian at the Dollar Tree. And then I also grabbed these from Michael's. Oh my gosh, these are so cute. So they're actually pink pussy willows, and I like them because they have this really nice realistic look to them. So I'm gonna stick them in the arrangement, in this little plant pot I've going on here. And look how pretty that is, oh my gosh. So that's not actually the arrangement, you guys know that. I'm making 3 smaller arrangements. This is just where, it's like a crock, it's actually a plant pot, but I picked it up because it's gorgeous. It has these beautiful bees on it. It's like French country style, which is totally my style. And so I just stuck all of my stems in there, and when I'm ready to get started, I'll be pulling from here. So I think I have everything that I need now, and now it's just a matter of getting started. But that's everything I'm going to be using, so let's get going. Okay, my friends, so let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is add my floral foam to my bucket, and I just want to make sure the handle of the bucket, the little loop, is right in the middle. Next, I'm going to grab my wire cutters and my longest piece of greenery, and this one is from Dollarama in Toronto, and it was $1.25. So by the time I do my cutting, I should have 3, possibly 4 pieces. And what you want to make sure of is that you don't cut your stems too short. Now, if if they're too long, you can always trim them down. If they're too short, you might find yourself in a situation where you'll end up having to use floral tape, and you just don't want to get into that. So right here, I cut the 3rd piece into 2 parts, and so now I have 4 pieces of greenery to work with, and that's going to start to form around the bottom to give us some fullness in the arrangement. Now, next I'm going to cut my hydrangea, just trim it down a bit. It has a pretty thick but flimsy stem. I need to cut off one of the leaves, and it also has like some faux thorns on it. So what I'm doing is just trimming it so that the hydrangea can go into the foam really nicely. I need to trim off a little bit more to shove it down. Again, it doesn't have a stiff stem, so it's always a little bit difficult to push it in, but that's okay. You can keep taking things out, putting them in, rearranging them however you'd like. Now, what I'm doing with the greenery is I'm just working around the hydrangea now, and I'm going to turn my bucket as I go. So I'm inserting the stems and then bending them down and then sort of curving them into a letter C. And you'll see me do that in the next shot here. So I'm just bending it like the shape of a letter C, inserting it into the foam, and then curving it down as well. So it's gonna all go sort of like in the same direction and sweep towards the front of the arrangement. So everything's kind of going clockwise, if you will. And you can play around with this too. If you find it's too gappy, or the stems are too long, just remove it and trim it according to what you like. Now this piece, we've got 3 stems bound together. So all I'm doing is trimming away the binding or the faux stem that's keeping them together, and that's going to reveal the actual wire that each stem is on. So this wire was pretty flimsy, and I didn't need to fortify it though. It was fine to insert into the foam. I just had to play around with the length. And that's adding to some fullness in the back of the arrangement. Now, you're not going to see the back of my arrangement. It's going to be against sort of like a wall, but I don't want any bald spots or gaps or any sparse areas in my arrangement. So I'm going to make sure it's full in the back, even though I'm not going to place any flowers back there, and also nobody's going to see it. But if you were making something like this for a centerpiece, you'd probably put the hydrangea and the other florals somewhere towards the middle. Next, I'm inserting the tiny Real Touch rose, And I'm trimming off all of the leaves because I won't really need them. They're actually just gonna pop up and create more bulk that isn't really necessary. So I remove the leaves and I'm just gonna insert them kind of where I think they look nice. And for now, that's like right next to the hydrangea. And I'm doing the same thing with the next one as well. So I'll put these two side by side. Or I should say, one on top of the other. And as you go, you may have to remove things and put them back in or change them up a bit just to get them to sit the way that you really want them to. My hydrangea is being fussy, so I just keep playing around with it to see if I can push it down a little further, turn it. The leaf came off, I need to put it back on. And that's okay, that'll happen. Okay, so now I'm adding my roses with the hint of lavender, and I'm not going to be using their leaves either. And the goal here is to just make the hydrangea and the roses form almost like a round little bouquet at the front of the arrangement. And then we're going to go a little bit more wild in the back. Next, I'm bringing in the cream and pink roses. And again, when you're using your florals, you may not necessarily know where everything's going to go or how things are going to look before you start, but again, you can move things around and see what you like. And then also too, if you think anything's missing, if it's you find the color scheme isn't working, or you feel like you need to add something that you maybe don't have on hand, you can always head out, grab something else and try that as well. Don't be afraid to experiment when you're doing this. And so now I'm going back in with the lavender roses. So I kind of did alternating with the bigger roses. And this whole section over here just seems to be super fussy. So I just keep taking them out, moving some of the leaves and kind of experimenting with how everything should sit. And the whole idea is to not really stress over any of this. It's really supposed to be sort of like a fun project. Take your time and keep moving things around until everything sort of looks the way that you envisioned. And sometimes things might end up working out better than you envisioned. So now I'm going in with a little bit more greenery again, inserting that into the back. And now I'm just making sure that everything looks nice and round together before I add my eucalyptus. So my eucalyptus comes with 7 pieces, and these are lovely. They look really nice in the arrangement. They look really real. They have nice movement to them. So these eucalyptus pieces, I'm cutting them off and I'm going to be using one at a time, and they lean to one side. So what I'm going to be doing is having them sort of lean counterclockwise. So our greenery went clockwise, and then these are kind of going to go the other way. But you can put these in, any way that you like or anywhere that you'd like. And I'm only going to put them in into half of the arrangement. So starting from like the bottom left and go up to the middle of the top left of the arrangement and just stop kind of halfway. I honestly didn't have an idea like of how this would really look. I knew I had some idea how the roses would look. It was really easy just to hold them all together. But as far as the greenery, I kind of picked them based on texture and color, but I wasn't sure how everything would turn out necessarily once I really started. And so a lot of this is really just playing around. And I think that's how all of my crafting kind of is. Like, I just experiment, take chances, and I see things in my head. I'm not somebody that draws things ahead of time. Everything just kind of gets conceptualized in my mind, and then I just start working and things just kind of come through my hands. So now I just have a few more pieces, and what I'm doing is just pushing up the bottom leaves so they don't get cut off of the stem, and that gives us a little bit of extra fullness. Sorry, my shoulder's blocking the shot there. And then as I'm going, I'm just rearranging things, fluffing things. And then here's our last piece, I think. Okay, and there's my hydrangea being fussy again, and I've lost a few pieces of it, and that's okay. I'm just putting them back onto the stem. There's some pieces of the original greenery that's getting stuck and kind of like bulking up the area, so I'm just trimming some leaves away, reinserting the eucalyptus, and then I'm going back in with the hydrangea. And this time I cut off a little thorn. I think that's been the problem that was the problem why it wouldn't go in all the way. And this time around, now I got it to sit properly. So you can keep trimming and adding, removing things, turning them until things look the way that you really want them to. I'm just fluffing the roses at this point in time, kind of getting the nice round shape in the center. And there's a little bit of a gap I noticed there with that rose, so I'm just going to remove it. Just turn it the other way so that it's in towards the other roses, so that way the gap is closed, and now I've got a nice tight cluster of flowers, and we've got some lovely wildness with the greenery in the back. And there you have it. Friends, I just wanted to share one more thing with you before we continue. So I found some water hyacinth coasters at IKEA and I thought they were so cute. They're whimsical, they're swirly, and they come in a set of 4 for $9.99. Now, I was gonna make them into fridge magnets to go with the giant flowers I made previously, but look how cute these look. You can put them in a set of 3, glue them together, and I thought they would look really nice in an arrangement. 3 might be too big for a small arrangement, but they'd be great for a bigger one. And 4, I think, would look phenomenal in a really, really big arrangement, just to add some texture and a different sort of look, a natural element. So what I'm doing here is just taking a coffee stir stick, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of hot glue. Now I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep these in my arrangements, so I'm just putting a little bit of glue so I can pull the stick off if I don't keep them for this project. And I'm just placing the coaster right on top of the stick and pressing down. So I would have glued this a lot more firmer if I was sure I was gonna put it in the arrangements, but just did a little dab, and now it's just drying. And then now I'm just gonna stick it right into the back of the arrangement. And I think that looks really cute. It's kind of like when you get an arrangement for Thanksgiving and it's got like a little hedgehog or a little pumpkin or a little potpourri item, or just something kind of natural and different. But there's just another little tip for you, another little creative idea, just a little bit of inspiration. Don't know if I'm gonna keep them, like I said, but thought I'd share that with you before we move on. Okay, my friends, so here's our final look, and everything I created today was inspired by my spiritual journey. I found this beautiful Virgin Mary statue last summer, and I actually have a testimony about why it is I purchased this statue, but I won't share that in today's video. Today I'll just share with you what I did with the floral arrangements, and they were absolutely inspired by everything that God has been walking me through over the last 4 years. Let me take you in for a closer look, but I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that it inspires you to try things, to create, to make. And I didn't say this earlier, but I really feel like these arrangements are a reflection of my personality too. Here, let me bring you in closer. Now, I feel like this is sort of like part and parcel of who I am. Sort of like there's some organization going here with the roses where they're put together and everything is organized, and then there's the wildness of the greenery in the back, and I feel like that perfectly represents and captures who I am. So when you create, don't be afraid to just express yourself. You don't have to repeat what I've done or what anyone else has done, but just be authentically you. And most of my journey so far has been about learning who I am and expressing myself through these projects, and I really hope that you enjoy what I'm putting out here, and I'd appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe if you do. But please keep coming back. I'll have more and more of these projects as we go.